Good morning, everybody. Just waiting for Jeff here to join, and we will get going in 1 minute, with or without him. So give me 1 minute. All right. While we wait for Mr. Beggins, we will go ahead and jump right in. So, when I was talking with Jeff last night, we were trying to figure out what we thought the best topic today would be. And what we kind of came to the conclusion was it's the same game we've been playing, right? Which is how do we stay top of mind to our sphere constantly, and just a reminder of what are those tools that we actually have available to do that, right, in the most effective way. So one of the things I want to run through, most of the offices have this tool on one of the computers. Jeff just joined, so let me add him real quick.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Stuck on a call for
No
a couple
worries.
minutes. Happy Monday.
No worries. So, well, I was just diving into some of the tools that we're going to be going through today to help them stay top of mind with their sphere, with their past clients, with prospective clients. And one of the first tools I want to dive into is Auto Networks.
Before you hit tools, can I just lay a little foundation down for a second here?
Sure.
All right.
Yes.
Guys, here's a situation, and it's an urgent, scary situation that is extremely fixable, but you've got to pay attention. If we do not get more inventory, we're all in a giant heap of trouble, right? We've never seen this before. And literally, seriously, if you have 15,000 agents running around, 30,000 agents in our boards, all running around to try to sell the same stuff that's non-existent, we have a big problem. So it's on us to solve the real estate industry's problem right now, especially in Central Florida, okay? And I'm not joking. I'm taking this extremely seriously, because if we do not scratch around and find inventory, then we're in deep trouble. And when we do, we're going to be rewarded greatly, like beyond your wildest dreams from a listing perspective. So when Puma and I were talking about the topic for this morning, there's only one that's important. And I cannot stress that I'm not joking at all enough here right now. We have to get inventory. We have to. Now, there's a lot of people that would love to move, but aren't. Why aren't they? Right? Puma,
Well,
you're one of them. I like using you as an example. You are a seller one of these days. When the stars align, you're a pain in the ass seller because you haven't realized that you should move yet, right? But you would, and you will, because the seed's planted. Now, a beautiful 5-bedroom opens up in your school district. You're out of there with the view and the pool and everything else. When you can pull your equity out and put it down, you're there. The issue is there's nothing to move into, guys. So we have to find people who are remotely thinking about selling and moving. But here's the problem. When Puma moves, he doesn't really solve all of the inventory problems. He's just shifting around the problem. So now his house comes on the market, the other house goes off the market. So we haven't solved our inventory problem. So what do we do? Now, the tools that we're about to hit are going to help you uncover the situation. So there's never been a time to, tiptoe around a topic. This is no tiptoe time. This is the time to get to work and say, hey, Mike, it's Jeff. I need your help, man. and I'm not joking. You got a second? You know people I don't know. And I want you to think for a second real quick. Who do you know in your life right now that's even remotely considering moving around, selling their house? Right? Now, I want you to pause about the psychology here for a second. Right now, if I called Mike out of the blue and said, Mike, or shot him a text saying, hey, dude, I need your help. Call me when you have a free second, please. First of all, he's going to say, oh, shit, I hope he's okay. And he's going to call me. And then we're going to have a conversation. Say, Mike, you know people I don't know. And I need you to think about this for a second. I've got literally, I'm not joking, inside of our company, we have 1,000 people, right? Literally, that are looking for houses that have not found a house they want to buy yet. And they've got money and they're ready to pounce. And we just do not have any inventory. So you know people I don't know in your world right now, who's potentially moving? Now pause for a second. That question is too big. Mike's brain is going to instantly say, too big question, cannot compute, give reflexive no, make him go away. He's going to say, dude, I don't know anybody, but I'll keep you in mind. Have a good day, right? And successful aborted mission, right? So he's now doesn't have to think because he doesn't want to. So I need to realize that that's coming and say, all right, now do me a favor. Your kids' baseball teams. Think about the parents for a second. You know all of them. Who's getting divorced? Who's getting married? Who's having extra kids? Who's losing their job? Who's getting transferred? Right now, having this conversation, what am I forcing Puma's brain to do? It's a Google search, right? It was too big saying, tell me something about the world, right? Too much information. Now I went down to Puma. Think about your baseball families, friends that you know. Who's getting divorced? Now, do you know one? Is there a family inside of all of your baseball teams that you think are getting divorced? Is there anybody? And if the answer is no, the answer is no, I don't care. But now I had him sort and search a searchable criteria field, right? How many families are in your baseball league, Puma?
Well, just in my kids' travel program, we have 3 teams under that. So we've got 36 kids.
Okay, so I just had him search 36, 30 probably, because there's multiples, probably 30 families. He can sort. Now, his brain scanned through the faces of 30 people and like, anybody getting divorced? Anybody getting divorced? Who do I think? Well, she's a bitch. They should. I don't really know. Blah, 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 blah. Right? He's going through all this sort process and saying, okay, no, search failed. Nobody getting divorced. Okay, cool. Anybody pregnant? And then he's like, boom, Bob and Sheila are having twins. They're going to have to move, right? This is what the brain is doing, but it's not going to do it until I force it to do it, right? You've got to do it. Okay, now think about people that you interact with on Instagram or on Facebook or LinkedIn. Who do you know that's moving? To anybody who just got a promotion, anybody who got a job transfer. And I know I'm asking you questions, but I really need your help, man. I have to find some inventory. Who do you know? And if I go through this 4-minute conversation with Puma, first of all, he's my friend and he wants to help me. So when I say, dude, I need your help, he's going to hit pause in his life and he's going to say, what do you need, dude? And I'm going to say, look, and I'm going to walk him through this path. This has to happen, guys. It absolutely has to happen if you're serious about this business right now. Because if you don't have inventory, you're going to be sitting around scratching your butt in about 2 months saying, what am I going to sell these people? And we as a company are going to say, we don't have any signs up. What are we going to do? Internet leads are going to be awesome, but we can't sell anybody anything. What are we going to actually do? So this is a wake-up call Monday morning. And I want you to, at the end of this meeting today, I want you like salivating. I want you just pacing around saying, let me at them, right? Let me go talk to everybody I know and say, who is thinking about selling right now? Who's even remotely considering selling? And figure it out and keep going until somebody says, my friend Bob, or my friend Sheila, or my cousin Joe, or some guy down the street just died. Right? These are the questions that you have to get the answer from, guys. If you're going to be serious, you can control it, guys. This is so important. Now, the question is, how do you become top of mind, right? I don't even care about ultimately being top of mind. How do you have the permission? Here's what being top of mind does. Top of mind being a real estate professional means you now have permission to interrupt their world and ask them a question, right? With credibility. I mean, I think anybody in this town here, I could say, hey, I've got a question for you, and it's about real estate. I think I would have credibility asking that question, right? And you would have credibility asking your sphere. and your neighbors and people that know you. Now, this might not be the question for people you've never met before, which is why we're talking about your sphere and your niche, that you actually have trust and people know that you're good at what you do and they care about you and you care about them. So it's about, let's get tactical about how do you reach them and what do you say. And I want commitments from every one of you right now saying, this week, I'm going to talk to 100 people and ask them directly, I need your help. Who do you know that's even remotely thinking about selling? Like even remotely, hypothetically, possibly the house is worth more than it's ever been before. People will line up down the street to buy it and put a nice chunk of cash in your pocket. Who's even remotely interested in listening to that conversation? Guys, this is what we have to do. So now with that framework set, let's go through some tools on how to actually reach people. What's the most effective way that doesn't make you look like a commission breath salesperson? Because honestly, we need to put our capes on and we need to save the real estate industry and put your superpowers on and get to work, right? So with that framework, let's hit some tools.
Yeah, I think though we still need to layer this out a little bit, right? Because I think all of us have different levels of sphere, different levels of connection that we are going to hit. If you're doing this in enough scale and enough volume, not everyone is going to be that relationship where you are going to call them, they want to have that conversation with you, they want to help you. Not everyone is at that level, right? And you may not have as much context. Jeff obviously knows my kids play baseball, we're close, of course I want to help him, right? That's a different conversation than someone that's my friend on Facebook, right? That maybe I haven't even met or haven't seen in years. Different conversation, different level of connection. One I have to build more value and trust with versus the other. So the way our approach needs to dictate that relationship, right? So that's one thing I just want to preface. So I think there's the tools we're going to go through and the methods will work on every level of our sphere, right? Those that really know us, like our immediate friends and family, those that kind of know us, and really those that really don't know us at all. This tactic will work, but it needs to be contextual to each of those groups. Right. So as an example, if we use, and I just want to show this tool first because we've put this tool in almost every office, I think now, maybe Apollo, I know we had some issues installing it, but if you guys have $150 to spare, this is the tool that I would go get. Okay. It's Auto Networks. We've gone through this before, but especially right now, the ability to use this tool to message and then make that message contextual to your friends on Facebook and be able to message every single one of them is super powerful, right? Because the way I look at this is you're going to have that segment of people that you're going to text or call like Jeff just did. They're close friends, their family. You're going to pick up the phone or you're going to text them and have that conversation that Jeff just portrayed. That's one thing you should be doing this week, should be doing today. The second level of that is, hey, I've got a bunch of friends and family on Facebook that some I'm close with, some I'm really not. How do I message them, right? And I think there's really two ways to do it. So I'm just going to share my screen real quick so we can actually run through this. All right, so I'm going to open up Auto Networks. Guys, this is $150 piece of software that if used properly, and it's something that you literally could use time and time again. I just think it's the most product thing out there for staying top of mind with your sphere and being able to personalize a message to them. So what I would do, I'd hit the wrong button.
And I want to interrupt for just a second while you load this up. Is everybody in your sphere, even the ones that live in Oregon, because of our relocation department. Everybody. So this is relevant to everybody. I just switched over to a different computer. Can you let me into that?
Yeah, you have an echo. Hold on one second. Let's see if I can get back in here and fix that. Are you on both?
I am right now. I'm gonna leave one.
All right, hold on. Let me promote this one.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Okay, that's better. Hold on a second. I got to get back in. It's been a little bit since I've been in here.
And guys, while he's logging into this thing, you can't take for granted everywhere, every city in our country has the same problem that we have right now. So when you have a cousin that lives in Austin, you need to get them to sell, get them through eRelo, talk with Ashley, get a great listing agent on that side and get yourself a few $1,000, right? This is everywhere, everybody. This is a call to action. This is it's almost urgent.
Yeah, it definitely is. Let's see here. Just trying to get my license key real quick. But I'm going to send out after this, I will send out the link to this software as well, so you can go and download it. The beauty of this is you're going to be able to pull your friends list and be able to message them with the click of a button. And the message, and it's going to come across as being personalized if you want it to. And the beautiful thing about it is that when it comes through, you can customize that message completely, right? So I think that's the point that I really wanted to make, was that message might be for some of you, if you're not as, because you don't spend as much time on Facebook as maybe somebody else. So maybe you're not as connected to that sphere. That's fine, right? But it could be a message, to Jeff's point. It could be a message of, hey, you know people I don't know. We've sold a record number of homes last year. We are in desperate need of inventory. Who do you know that's moving around? That could be the message. The message could also be, hey, I know there are a bunch of small business owners. You know some that I don't know. I am looking to help anyone. We've all gone through a crazy time. I am looking to network and help and try and connect with as many local business owners and people from the community as possible. If you know someone that would like to partner in any way, let me know. Guys, here's the thing. Reaching out and directly asking works, but also bringing value works too. Because if Jeff brings me value as a small business owner, naturally, what do I want to do? I want to bring him value. So if he helps me, whether it's ordering food, whether it's helping because I have a skill set maybe that he doesn't have, right? So for me, maybe I reach out to Jeff because he owns a pizza place that's local, and I say, hey, what can I do, right? I know you've been through a crazy time. I know how to use social media. Do you need help? I'll help you for free. What's the first thing that Jeff's going to do? Yeah, well, how can I help you? Right? He's going to want to return the favor. It's natural. So if you can build value and build equity, yeah, it will work. But you have to go about it with the right intent. You have to go about. So it literally could be a message to everyone that's saying, hey, listen, I'm trying to network with as many local people from the community as possible because we're all in this together. It's been a crazy time, and I want to help in any way that I can. How can I help? Boom, send that out. That's one way to be top of mind. You can be strategic about it. If you have members of your sphere on Facebook that are going through something in particular, reach out to them. It could be that, for me, the Redskins lost and it was a really sad Saturday night. Boom, maybe I'm messaging all of my Redskins fans to say, hey, we're in this together, right? But we got some bright things to look forward to. Now I'm connecting and staying top of mind with them. This is the game we're playing. It's just leveraging the tools. So Auto Networks is one of those tools. I'm trying to find my key here. Give me 1 second. Jeff, what are your thoughts on that while I look this up? Because I think for me, that's the key, right?
Are we going to still keep talking about the horrible loss you had on Saturday night? Is that what you want to keep drilling into?
No, I want to actually not talk about that at all because I'm still mentally trying to overcome what happened. With that said, I actually am very excited about what I saw. I think we found our future QB, so I'm pretty pumped about it. There were also some.
I saw you whining and complaining on Facebook a little bit, like a little bitch, but that's okay.
Listen. Jim Graff is on the meeting this morning. I saw him on there, and he even emailed me and said, "I've never seen so many blown calls." And that man has probably watched more football than any of us. So Tom Brady is treated like a little princess out there, And that was definitely evident Saturday night. But I digress.
Hey, this is a great
See,
point because there's a tribe for everybody. There's a tribe that is happy about Saturday. There's a tribe that's sad about Saturday. There's a tribe that is happy about the election. There's a tribe that's not happy about the election. There's a tribe that likes snow. There's a tribe that hates snow. There's a tribe that likes hunting. There's a tribe that hates people that hunt, right? And every one of them is right. Every one of them is perfect. And you need to figure out what's your tribe, right? For attraction, right? Now, I don't want to go too far down a find a new tribe rabbit hole, because my call to arms right now is I don't care if you have 8 people that you know, right? You all have no more than 8 people. You go through your phone. If I said you need 50 people that you actually know in town enough that would return your text message, that's what I'm talking about right now. So what we're going to be building and building the future, I'm talking about this week, you need a listing just to save the real estate industry. So I want to go first into your top 50. And I want to hit every single one of them and say the Mikes of your world right now, Aunt Sue of your world, right? Cousin Eddie in your world, the people that liked your last several posts, those people, those are your cheerleading squad. Those are the people you have their attention of right now. Let's exhaust them first. While we're building, so we're still going to build, but top priority right now is to get in front of the people that already know you, like you, trust you, and say, dude, help. We got a major, major problem. Who's getting married? Who's getting divorced? Who's getting transferred? Who's selling their house? Who's getting a second house? Who has extra properties? What investor do you know? Because if they bought homes to flip and they have some rentals, who do you know that owns some rental properties? Let me call them, because maybe they should shuffle the deck a little bit, take some money off the table, shove some of that equity in their pocket, and wait. Maybe they have another use for that money. Who do you know that owns a bunch of rentals, right? These are the questions that if you just went and drilled down their top 50 people this week, I promise you, someone's going to say, why don't you call my friend Joe? He's got like 15 rentals he bought like in '09. And, maybe he wants to cash out or 1031 into something. Well, cool. What's his phone number? Right? Why don't you call him? Why don't you text him and ask him to give me a call saying, look, let me talk. See where I'm going? There's a path. Every single one of your friends has you ask a question. You say, hey, Mike, anybody wants to sell their house? Nobody, no problem. I'll think about you. Okay, bye. Then you might as well just go to the movies, right? If you're not going to go the next step down and say, look, Mike, pay attention for a second. I know you got different groups of friends. I know you got a bunch of people. I want you to think for a second about your neighborhood. Who in your neighbor, any of your neighbors, any of them, do this for a second. Your neighbors, which one of your neighbors is most likely to move next? Or any of them having any life situations? Anyone having kids? Is anybody getting divorced? Do you know anybody who's got a new job? Do you know anybody? Think for a second. Do you have anybody? Think about your neighborhood for me for a second, just your neighbors. And then I shut up. What happens during my shut up time period? If I've given him a searchable request,
list, yeah.
If I've given you a searchable request, if I said, hey, who do you know on the planet that wants to do something? You're going to go down. But now I just want you to chunk this down to your neighborhood.
Yep.
Do you have anybody, yes or no, that pops up to that?
Yep.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you really? Is there anybody in your neighborhood? You do. What's their name?
No. It's
Okay.
people right across the street, Jamie and Linda.
Okay. What's going on in their world? What do you
Good.
think I could do to help them?
Their son graduates this year, and I know that he's going off to college, and they have already talked about downsizing because they don't need that big of a house anymore.
Okay, that's good, but that's disruptive. To move their child's home before he graduates is unlikely going to happen. But I should have this conversation with them now. Maybe they have a plan, right? But really, the realisticness of them putting their house on the market in January when their kid graduates in May, unlikely, right? Now, if he said Jamie and Linda, they just had a blowout fight, and I know they're getting divorced, different story, right? I'm talking about now. We're going to build later business also, but I want you guys to think about right now. And so Jamie and Linda, great future lead. I appreciate that. Next topic, think about your baseball family. Next topic, think about your Redskins world. Who else can you think about? Any family members anywhere in the country moving? This is a nationwide alert problem right now. Then I'm going to go through, and he says, dude, I really don't know anybody. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to follow up with you. Goodbye. Conversation. Hey, Craig, what's going on? It's Jeff. You know people I don't know. Think about your neighborhood. What's going on? Guys, this works. You know it does.
Yep. Absolutely, it works. So rather than sit here and fool around with, I got to update that software. But this is how it works, right? So I'm just going to play this quick little video. This is how it will work on Auto Networks. So you're actually going to have the ability to go in here. This is exactly how it works. You're going to export your entire friends list from Facebook, and you can pick and choose. You're going to save it right to your computer. So it'll literally pull all your friends that are in your sphere. And then you're going to be able to message them one-on-one. So
Well, pause that
now
for a
you can
second.
come back in.
Because if you wanted to be contextual, you could save just your baseball family,
Yep.
right? And there's that one saved list. You could save your neighbors. You could save your high school buddies. You could save your college buddies. You could save your whatever, however you want to categorize people into different lists, because you could have a very customized message to just people that you went to high school with. That's different than the people you went to college with. It's different than the ones that you play baseball with. It's different than your neighbors, right? So you can get as contextual as you
100%.
want.
And you can do it with groups too, right? So if I'm members of groups, like I'm member of the Redskins Nation of Tampa, right? So I could just take just those folks, export my group, right? Scrub that group, take all those people, and then I know I'm messaging all Redskins fans who live in Tampa, right? And then I could take my Wesley Chapel community group and message them. And then I could take my Meadow Point community group and message them, right? So you can get super, super contextual as much as you want with this, right? So you can keep it generic, but with the touch of a button, you're going to be able to reach all of those people, which is why I think for the $150 for the lifetime that this software costs, it's really worth it, right? So literally you're going to come in, you'll import that list that you just saved, customize your message right here, anything you want. And let me pause this. So all you have to do is $name, $sign with the exclamation point. And when that goes out, that's going to pull in their first name. So if that goes to me, it's going to say, hi, Mike. If that goes to Jeff, it's going to say, hi, Jeff, and so on and so forth. So it's going to feel very, very personalized, which is a great way to do this, right? So how is just doing that. And then you'll click send. If you want to put in if you wanted to put in a link somewhere, you could do that to your SAP CRM site, anything you wanted. You don't have to, but you could. So that's just, this software does a lot of different things. That's just the main thing that I really like it for when it comes to communicating with your sphere. And to Jeff's point, my suggestion would be do it in small batches, right? Rather than, so if I pull my list, 5,000 friends, it's too much, right? Number one, I'm going to get in Facebook jail very quickly because of sending that many messages that fast. It's going to take forever for it to send because it gaps each message. But it's so blanketed, right? If I'm really doing this strategically to get business, I need to get contextual. So I need to go through that 5,000 and say, okay, I'm going to send it to these 200. Then I'm going to send it to these 200. And then I'm going to send it to these 500. And I'm going to segment that group out to the best of my ability. And I probably don't need to send this to my mom and my dad and my sister. Maybe I could, right? Maybe that makes sense, but that's not my top priority, right? I want people that I know are not going to think of me right now and that this is a way to connect. And like I said, the message needs to be contextual to the group you're sending it. It could be, hey, do you know someone, that I don't know that's moving around, who's getting divorced, who's having a baby, who's, all that kind of stuff. It could be, hey, I know how much money is in your bank account. Do you know what your home is worth? I am doing free home evaluations for all my friends and family. Send me your address. Let me start to look up value for you because it's so important, especially now that you know how much the largest financial asset in your life is worth. You should know, right? So let me help you out. I just want to bring that. It could be that, right? That message goes out to your sphere. Every single person who owns a home in your sphere gets that message. Not all of them are going to request it, right? But a handful will. And now in your sphere, what smaller proportion of them are actually thinking about what their home is worth. Because if I'm really thinking about what my home is worth, that's top of mind and I care about it, then I'm likely looking to do something, whether it's pull out equity, whether it's to buy something else, whether it's to cash out. So that could be a message, right? So you guys get the point. This could be anything. And this is an ongoing tool. So this week might be, hey, who do you know? Next week, it might be, hey, what's going on in your world? This literally could be used. If I were using this as an agent, I would be doing these once a week. But the message literally every week would be, hey, man, what's going on in your world? How can I help? Boom. Next week, hey, just want to say I hope you have a great week. Boom. Can you imagine just getting these little affirmations from someone every week or every other week? Right? What's going to happen? You are going to stay top of mind. So the second that something does happen in their life or someone they know, you're going to be like, oh man, they should call Mike. Boom. It happens, guys. Just from the daily posts that we put out, when I post that stuff, I get texts all the time. The post we made on whatever that was, Friday, about our record year last year, I got 3 text messages from my sphere saying, hey, so-and-so is looking to sell. Have they called you yet? Right? Mutual acquaintance. And they hadn't called me. I reached out to them, and now we're looking to do something. Right? One is getting in the process of getting pre-approved. So all of that just from a simple post that all of a sudden made someone's brain trigger that said, wait a minute. And they weren't even the ones moving. It was somebody else. So this is how the game is played, but you actually have to play it. This tool gives you a little bit of an advantage. So I really do like this one.
It's a great one. And I love your idea about shooting something out every single week, because you just become relevant and something nice and positive. And then they're like, wait, who's this guy again? Gary, out of 5,000 people, there's a bunch of people who don't know who the hell you are, but there's some acquaintance because they see there's 32 mutual friends. Like, who is this guy again? Click. And then, oh, he's such a 21 dude. Win, score, top of mind, boom. That's the whole point, guys. Now, that's secondary feeder. I'm going to go back to get your butt to work with the people who know you, like you, and trust you right now too. And yes, your mom, and yes, your aunt, and yes, your cousin, and yes, your brother even, right? Because they go through their day and you're tucked back there as a real estate person. We're becoming what of mind? Top of mind, not cluttered down the list in mind. You're in their mind, but we want to become top, because when they're standing and getting a cup of coffee later on today at Starbucks, and the guy behind them is saying, God, I just found out, I don't know what we're going to do. We got to move, right? We just got this job transfer. We got to move to Boston. I can't believe Boston. I'm excited, but what are we going to do? I couldn't help it over here. You guys moving? I got a friend of mine who I just talked to. They said he's got buyers just lined up coming down the hallway, right? So, what's your name and number? Let me tell you to call Mike, right? That's a shot, right? But if you didn't do the top of mind awareness, you're not going to become top of mind when that conversation is going around the peripheral.
I think that's a great point, guys. Your closest friends and family, your immediate friends and family, no matter where they live, are your influencers. They're the people that will go to bat for you. As an example, I had a conversation with my dad yesterday, right? We were talking about fantasy football and the Redskins and everything else. Never once did we talk about real estate. So, of course, I'm quote unquote top of mind with my dad, but not from a real estate perspective. However, if I called him today and said, Dad, listen, man, I really need your help. Like, we're in really big trouble. We got to have inventory to sell, and we're literally running out of inventory. If you know anyone, if you're talking to someone, ask them, I need inventory so badly. We're in big trouble if we don't get it. Can you help me? Guess what he's going to do at work today? He's going to go and he's going to start asking around. And any person he comes and talk with, I guarantee you by the end of the week, I would have a referral from him from somebody that he talked to that was thinking about doing it, because he is my dad and wants to help out and doesn't know that I need it unless I ask for it. Right. So I promise you, if you did that with your best friend, with your sister, with whoever it is, use your small circle, that small, tight circle that will go to bat for you. Tell them you need it. You need their help, and then let them go be your influencers. And I promise you that will result in a deal. There's no question about it.
And absolutely. In order of priority after that, after you exhaust your close cheerleading squad, right? To me, from me right now, if I said, okay, if I don't have a listing by Friday, my are going to fall, right? Like, let's put some accountability and leverage on the situation. Like, literally, your arms will fall off on Friday at 5 if you have not posted any listing for sale. That's going to be, I could name some different body parts if you want to add some more leverage, right? But you get the point. Whatever's going to cause some leverage to yourself, you've got to get this happen. I was talking about noses and ears, Mike. Right? So what are you going to actually what are you going to actually do to make this happen? I would go at a very high level of intensity with my friends and say, hey, Puma, listen, I don't want to be personal or anything, but my ears are going to fall off on Friday if I don't get it inventory. And I know, people I don't know. Deal. Then I would go immediately to absentees, right? 100%. I would go find people who do not live here. Why? Because there's not many emotions involved in a second and third home, right? If you just have some butt sitting in a house that's paying you rent every month, the $2,200, it's not like I'm in love with the home, right? It's an asset. So if I called you up in New Hampshire and said, hey, you don't know me, I'm your neighbor down here in Reddington Beach at Jeff Beggins, Century 21 over here, the house you have over on 173rd, I got a question for you right now. Literally, I got people dying to live here, and your house, your neighborhood is cool. Is there even a remote shot you guys would consider selling that asset? Right? Even a remote shot, it's worth more than it's ever been worth before. I'm just wanting to see if it's even a remote possibility for you. And then I shut up. Then I listen. What's going to happen? Something, right?
Yeah.
Hey, hell no, man. We're going to move down there in 3 years when I retire. Good for you, man. I'll tell you what, I'm talking to all the absentee owners. If I find a good deal, are you interested in maybe picking up another investment? I'll put you on my short list of off-market interested buyers. Cool. Here's my number. Save my number, if you will. Let's just put it down for Jeff Neighbor, Realtor, Reddington Beach, or whatever, right? Talk to you soon. And then I'll put a little note later. I'll just do a little video text. Hey, Mike, thank you so much for your time earlier today. Just look forward to when you're in town. Please look me up. Let's go grab a cup of coffee. Have a great day. Bye. Next. Hey, Shirley, it's Jeff Beggins. I'm your neighbor down here in Reddington Beach. The house you have on 182nd. It's a question for you. I love it. It looks so cool. What's your plans, guys? It's worth more than it's ever been worth before. I have buyers everywhere. Inside of our company, we literally have 1,000 people looking for houses right now. What's the story? Even a remote possibility that you might even hypothetically consider selling this thing, and then shut up and then listen. And then if that doesn't work, guess what? Then I'm going to call the one on 181st, and then the 180th, 179th, 187th. And guess what? I'm going to keep going until I get a listing, because I don't want my ears to fall off on Friday, right? And I 100% guarantee you I will have at least one listing by Friday, by exhausting my close sphere, by exhausting my neighborhood here, right? I'll get one. So the question is, where's your leverage? Where's the leverage? Because
what's the alternative?
What else, right? What else are you going to do?
What's the alternative? Like, this is the part that I think you really need to have a tough conversation with yourself, right? When I hear it so often, oh, but what if I do all this and, no one knows anyone? But what if they do, right? Worst case scenario, you reach out to everyone in your sphere, you message everyone, you text everyone, you call absentee owners, you do hundreds of contacts this week, and not one person moves. Guess what? If you didn't call any of them, you weren't going to get any business anyways. So you're telling me that by giving it a shot, you have a chance. You're saying there's a chance that someone's going to say yes.
But you planted 100 seeds along the way.
Right. And yeah, worst case, you planted seeds, and I still would be shocked if you make hundreds of contacts and if you don't get something. But worst case, it is better than the alternative. So I always play that game with myself. What's the alternative? Right? I don't want to do that, but what's my alternative? And if I don't have an alternative that works better than what my idea was, I'm doing the first thing. Right? Like, you have to push yourself out of that comfort and realize that any excuse you're making to not do it is an excuse. And you have to ask yourself, what is the alternative then? If I don't want to go message all those folks, what am I going to do instead? And if you don't have a game plan, if the game plan is nothing, if the game plan is sit back and wait for them to call me, then you're going to go through this week without any business, and you're going to complain, and you're going to be miserable, and you're going to say exactly where you are. Or you're going to take the at-bat, give yourself a chance to get a hit, and you might even hit one out.
It was funny. I was working on some other stuff last night, and I was listening into Clubhouse, right? The new app. I hope you guys are on it. It's interesting. And I got pulled into a conversation. Actually, Danielle was on. Salgado was just randomly in the same room that I popped into last night. And I pop into a lot because I like to listen. I love this business, right? It's a sport. So figure out what are people talking about, what's most important. And everyone's like, oh, the inventory, there's no inventory, there's no inventory, no inventory. So all I'm doing is just telling people, hey, are you thinking about buying a house? Let me know. I'm like, great. Okay, guys, look, most people aren't going to do anything. They're going to be reactive, and they're going to wait until one of their friends wants to buy a house and reaches out to them. And that will probably be enough to get them where they're. I'm not talking to them. I'm talking to you, right? Because you are the person that's going to actually make something happen. So rather than complaining or even discussing if we have no inventory, fix the problem, right? We have the ability right now to go pop out 200 pieces of inventory this week, right? Just absolutely. I mean, what would that do? We would have a bunch of double sides. We would have throw so much volume up on the board. Your Q1 goals would be out of control. But if you honestly don't want to do it, then don't pretend you're going to do it. But some of you, if one of you listening, just one of you says, I'm going to do this, I will get a piece of inventory, throw it on the market, and then I promise you when you tease it, because you have 24 hours, right, before it goes live, and then you broadcast the crap out of it on your Facebook page, and everyone say, look, I got my new listing, it'll be going live tomorrow. You're within the MLS rules. I bet you have a very good shot that someone's going to call you and you can double side that listing, just because the market is so sparse right now, right? Just that's what's going on. So one of you, if we get say, I'm going to act to go hit my sphere this week, and I'm going to act as if my arms will fall off on Friday. And then if that doesn't work, I'm going to hit absentee owners in my neighborhood, right? Just one. So I'm just curious, of all the ones watching, who's that one? Give me a little hand raise. Somebody's going to say, that's it. I'm going to go get some inventory. There we go. Got them coming in. Love it.
So
love it.
the other thing is, from just staying top of mind and leveraging life events, if you do nothing else this week, bare minimum, if you're not going to do anything else we talked about, get on LinkedIn, update your profile so the algorithm can do its thing. And then I want you to sit back and you're going to get little notifications. And these notifications are of life events. So as an example, these are notifications. I get these little notifications all day. Congratulate Billy, he's starting a new position, right? This, anytime someone changes jobs, gets promoted, anything, it notifies you. And so I can come in here strategically, build my sphere, do nothing else on the platform, wait for them to notify me that Billy gets promoted, and then I know this is a lot of work. You do have to log in, and then I have to do this. Oh man, I did have that button, and it actually populates it for me, and then I click another button. So with two clicks, I can say congrats to Billy. Now, what just happened? Well, I have started a conversation with someone who just got promoted.
You just shuffled yourself to the top of his mind right now. He was probably doing
top
something.
of mind, and I can now start to take this conversation wherever I want. If I really think Billy might be something that I want to pursue, my next thing could be, so what's the new role entail? What are you doing? That's awesome, man. How's the family? Where are you guys living now? Boom. You see how we can start to shift this conversation in the direction I want it to go? Right? And it's simple as 2 clicks. So LinkedIn is super powerful for this because it just is so good at putting you in a position, right? And I get these all day long. This is a whole list, 3 others. If I click on this, it's going to tell me who those 3 were. And then I can go and congratulate Nathan and the other 3. So I got 4 people right here that I click on. Oh, look, boom, 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 boom. Say congrats to all of them, right? Guys, just creating a framework, right? And I'm all for creating a framework that's super easy to duplicate and replicate and be consistent on, because this is something I feel like within minutes you could do every single day. And if I'm doing it every single day, now I'm creating a real possibility of it actually turning into something. So I don't care, and my advice is do this on top of everything else we just talked about, because this is super easy and short to do. But if you're going to do nothing else, you should at least be doing this, because it's literally minimum effort. You don't even have to write anything, and boom, send. All right. So just little hacks, guys, that you should be doing every day.
I love it, guys. This is just such a unique moment in the history of marketing. This is all 100% free. Right? Literally takes 2 minutes, and you literally what we just did was disrupted Billy's world. Whenever he just got a notification, right, that Mike Puma said congrats. He was probably in the middle of doing something productive, and Mike just spun his brain out to say, what? Huh? What? Oh, congrats, Mike Puma. How do I know Mike? Click. Mike Puma. Oh, connected with so and so and so and so and so and so. Real estate. Oh, cool. Wow, shit, real estate. My wife and I were just talking about maybe getting a bigger house last night. That's interesting. Right? You see how that just creeps in because Mike hit 2 buttons. And that's the way the world works right now, guys. It was free. And it was so fast. And the same thing goes on when you do an Auto Networks post. Same thing, you just do a quick DM to your friends on Instagram, right? Same thing, you just post, right? You're just interrupting and becoming top of mind, guys. Please don't complicate this business, right? All you're doing is you have to intercept what people are going to be doing no matter what. That's all we have to do, is just get in the way.
Now, I also want to point this
but
out.
if you're not top of mind, you're never going to get there.
Look, isn't that funny?
Thanks, Mike.
Now the conversation has started, right? Took minutes, and I've already got a reply. Now we get some conversations. I just
do you even know who Billy is?
Nathan here.
Do you even
no
really
idea.
know? No idea who Billy is?
Not a clue. I don't know who Nathaniel is either. But that's okay, because now I could get to know him if I wanted to, right? And I just messaged Nathaniel because he got promoted to senior director of development at the Brainbridge companies. That sounds important. But regardless, here's what I also want to show. So I'm going to open my messages, right? So when you message someone, when you get a message, so obviously here it's just showing my name. When they get it though, so I'll just click on a message that I got. When you get the message, it shows what you do for a living, right? Or what they do for a living, the person that's messaging you. So the point being is that when he gets this message, whoop, real estate, in my case, it's going to say chief marketing officer. In your case, it's going to say realtor in here. So as long as your profile's up to date, your job title's up to date, he's automatically seeing whether he wants to or not that you're in real estate. I don't know what else to do. This is like the laziest man. This is the lazy man's way to network, but I promise you it works. And I love LinkedIn just because of the professionalism of it. There's just so much power to it. And obviously there's a lot more you could be doing on the platform, but at a bare minimum, just sitting back and doing this is super beneficial.
Right. But it all goes back down to you taking the moment to cause yourself to make a decision to make something happen this week, right? Because the reality of it is, if you don't get a new listing by Friday, your arms really aren't going to fall off and you're not going to die. Let's be honest, that's our biggest challenge that we have. So what is going to be the catalyst to make you say, this is it? I'm going to challenge myself. I want to get to a next level. I'm going to go put an extra, what am I going to do with $7,500? Because that's what you're going to make. Right, really, $7,500 poofs into your bank account, but only if you know where you're going to spend it. What are you going to do with it? Say it's $5,000 after taxes. Right? What are you going to do with it? And I hope you guys have this answer, because not just spend it or not just save it. That's not going to work. Right? I'm going to save up for a blank, whether it's a trip in March, or it's to pay off your student debt, or it's to pay off a credit card, or it's to buy a TV. Or it's, I don't care what it is, right? But you have to have that number and say, okay, by the end of this week, I'm going to have a brand new listing, and I'm going to, as a result, put $5,000, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 in my pocket. Because guess what? You get to decide how much that listing is going to be worth. Because if you're going to do absentees, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't go into Cracktown. I'm not allowed to say that. I guess I am, and try to find a listing there. I would rather go into a nice waterfront neighborhood that's got $800-900 million, $2 million houses. Exact same work, right? When I call the absentee owners, same thing. But I get to create my own reality and say, wait, rather than making $7,000, I'm gonna go make $25,000 this week. Watch this. Right? You know what I'm gonna do with it? I'm gonna go buy some shares of Apple, or I'm gonna go pay off all of my debt with one transaction. Right? Or I'm going to pay my entire tuition for my kids next year with one transaction that I find between now and Friday. Watch this. Right? That's the motivation, guys. That's the dedication. That's the leverage you've got to get on yourself. And then tell somebody. Go tell your manager. Go call me. Shoot me a text. Call Mike. Call Craig. Call Thomas. Call whoever you want, and just say, "Well, watch this. What do you want to hold? Let me hold me accountable." By Friday, I'm going to talk to 75 people, and one of them is going to turn into a listing that will be live, and I'll probably have multiple offers by the time Saturday comes. Watch this. You want to race me? Let's see who does it first. Let's go. What are you going to do with your money? Here's what I'm doing with my money. Let's get to work. Right? Look around here and type in the chat. I want an accountability partner like that. And then watch who else writes me too. And then shoot them a text, send them an email, and get it going. Guys, this is what it's going to take to get to that next level, to keep that inspiration, to keep that motivation. Challenge yourself. None of our arms are going to fall off. So let's pretend something's going to happen if we don't, or something great's going to happen when we do. Whichever motivation factor you have is what this is going to take, guys. So think about it. What are we going to do? I'm so excited, man. It couldn't get any better. It can't get any better than the market in right now. I mean, honestly, any listing you go get between now and Friday is 100% money in the bank. Sold.
Now, before we end this, I do want to just touch on Clubhouse real quick, because I would not be doing my job as a marketer if I didn't talk about this platform real quick. So we're not going to dive heavy into it just because it's not completely open to the market yet. It is an invite-only platform. I actually do have a couple invites. So if you have an iPhone, you can get on. If you do not have an iPhone right now, it is iPhone only during beta. Clubhouse, go into your app store if you have an iPhone, register, download the app and register for an account. It is invite only. If someone's already in the app, they might be able to invite you if they have invites. I do have a couple, so the first couple people do it, I can get you in. I got Jimmy in last week. So go into the app. It's when you search Clubhouse, it's the drop-in audio app. Guys, here's the thing. If you can get onto the app, get onto the app. And here's why it's super important. This thing is no question going to be a huge, huge, huge platform. With that said, the reason I want you on right now, even though it's very early and still in beta, is because even if this app fails miserably, which I don't think it will, there will be another version of this that will succeed. Audio is going to be huge, and this is proving it. There are hundreds of thousands of people already on the app. But here's the thing. I want you on it now, just consuming. Go in, hop into the rooms, understand how it works. How do I add people? How do I do things? What are they talking about? What's the cadence? How are they bringing people on stage? And you're going to get a ton of value. There's a ton of great people on there. Grant Cardone's been in rooms every single day. Gary V's on there. I mean, you name it. I'm sure, what's his name? I know Greg Harrelson's on there. The Fairies are on there. Like, literally, this platform is huge. Okay. And it's only going to get bigger. But what I want you doing is consuming and understanding how it works, because when you launch Meadow Point's Clubhouse, Meadow Point morning talk show, right? And that's my neighborhood. Your neighborhood morning talk show.
Yeah.
Your neighborhood once a week meeting, right? Where you and your neighbors get on there and discuss what's going on in the neighborhood, what you'd like to see, whatever it is. When you start your thing to your sphere, it will be huge. And it gives you the opportunity to be the mayor, to lead your area, to own your sphere, and own the communication between it. Guys,
it's going to kill. It's what Nextdoor should have done, but didn't. And someone is going to be the ambassador to every neighborhood. And it's if you contextualize chunk down, it's going to be untouchable. You will be the de facto mayor of your niche.
Yep. And here's the best part about it. The founders have already said that this will be an ad-free platform. The only monetization will be certain rooms you can buy tickets to, right? And that's not even on there now, but like let's say Tony Robbins was on there. Tony Robbins could come in, start a room or start a club and charge $25 a month to be in his club.
Yeah.
Right. And they'll take a percentage of that revenue. Other than that, there's no ads. There's nothing, guys. This platform, I promise you, is going to be huge. But for those of you that can get on it now, it's early, but the better you understand it, the better you understand the consumption of it and how people are using it, when it is time and when it gets to Android and iPhone and officially rolls out, and you're the first person to create that morning talk show for your audience, is huge, guys. If I'm going to do it, I'm doing a bunch of stuff. Jeff and I are already doing stuff for B3 on there. We're going to be doing a podcast version on there. And then I'm going to start a Redskins Tampa talk show on there. And Jimmy and I are doing like a little podcasting together on there as well. So already opportunity, just get on it, start playing around. And I promise you it will pay off in the future. I think someone put in their name of the app. It's called Clubhouse. And it is, when you search it, you might see multiple Clubhouses come up. It's a Clubhouse drop-in audio is the app that you want. Go in, register.
Like that.
Yep, that's the icon. Go in, register for an account. You can go to Clubhouse. I think it's clubhouse.com or Google it. Go in, register. You can register for a username, and then you'll be put on a wait list. Yep. At that point, if you have a friend or sphere that is already approved and in the platform, then they will get notified. And if they have invites, they can actually invite you. Club name, what does that mean? It's on Android. That's what your mom asked. I'm not sure what her question was. It is not on Android yet. Yeah. So if you are an Android user, you cannot get the app now. So you can disregard until it's ready. We'll notify you once they say that it is there. But yes, so if you're on there, reach out. I know I have a couple invites. I'm happy to use them for you, but I only have a couple, so I can only get a couple of you on. But I'm sure there's other people that you know that you don't even realize are on there yet. I mean, this thing has grown from, I think it had 1,500 users in May, and now it has over 600,000. Right?
It topped a million. It topped a million yesterday.
Oh, did it really? So yeah, so 1 million people have already navigated, guys. I'm telling you this, you're on the ground floor. This is like Facebook 2008, right? Yep. Like if you get on there and start to understand it, you will dominate. So, and
it is addictive. There's your warning. I was in a,
it is addictive, but the nice thing is it does work like listening to a podcast. So you can actually like swipe out of it and still do stuff on your phone. You can pull up stuff, like it could literally be sitting here and you could just be listening in the room and no one would know the difference. So it's a lot like putting on a YouTube video or a podcast in the background or music. It's the same type of thing, but there's so much good content going on for free on the platform. So,
or you can choose,
I think you'll get something out of it.
Yeah. It's really cool.
Yeah. Or interact and really get to use it, but highly suggest it. We're getting a bunch.
Christina, I didn't put C21 my name. I just used @Jeff Beggins.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Christina, I just put
put it in your bio though, because people will go into your bio, and your bio, the way that they did the bios, more in depth you make your bio. I actually need to go make mine better. The more in depth you make it, they actually index and keyword your bio. So if someone's searching for like real estate and real estate's in your bio, then it'll actually it could pull you up as a user. So you want to make sure your bio is complete with things about you, use DISC. Like this is where that stuff starts coming into play. Use the bio that you would have on your website, put that in there. You show the icon.
Neil just asked, there's the icon right there.
It's that guy. Yep.
So that's the icon right there. And if you are on, Puma and I are doing a days at 2:30. We're opening up a room, and so if you are joining in and listen to, Chris Reed's been joining us and co-moderating, and Jimmy hopped into one, and it's pretty fun. Our friend Johnny Knight from West Virginia pops in with us sometimes, so it's pretty cool. So have fun with it. Just join it, and it's just great. I was on I'll go with Damon from Shark Tank and Jay Abraham last night for a couple hours, just dropping all kinds of marketing ideas, some cool thoughts that I came up with, and it's
Oh,
inspirational.
they're doing full pitch. Grant Cardone was on there on Friday doing a full pitch session where he was inviting entrepreneurs to come in and pitch them his business, and he was literally talking with them one-on-one in the thing and investing, not investing, asking for pitch decks. I mean, it's wild. This is going to change the game. And I've been waiting for a voice dominated platform for a long time. This is it. And it's hit, and it is getting traction. And so you learn to use it, because I really think it could be super powerful way to communicate with your sphere in the near futures, but you have to understand how it works first.
Cool.
If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I will happily help you in any way that I can.
Time flies when you're having fun. Happy Monday, guys.
That's
Seriously,
it. We're over time.
Dust off your mind. Go get a listing by Friday so you have arms going into the weekend. Right? That's my wish for you, is an arm full weekend. So make it happen. Reach out if you need any help.